Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening, and welcome to the show, Seeing the Unseen, with your host, Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan. I do this little introduction for you here and talk a little bit about the topic of the evening. But first, a quick piece of housekeeping. For anyone who might be out there joining us for the first time, just say hi in the chat so we know you're here. Then we can do a reading for you. And of course, the first time you join the show, the reading's always free. Now, going forward from there, it's just $10 per reading, or you can do $100 and cover the entire month for every single show. That is 3 times a week, so it's a pretty sweet deal there. Now, for tonight's show, it's a little bit of a Mother's Day special. So, Chris will talk more about that here momentarily, but one of the questions that came to me was, how can we nurture and mother ourselves? And this idea of creating our own mind, creating our reality by changing our thinking and recreating our ego at a base level is something we talk about very frequently on the show. Now, it's a powerful thing to be able to do, but in order to do that, we have to feel safe. And ultimately, that safety comes from connection. And that connection can come from other people, sure, but I would say the best possible scenario is when we're connected with our true best and highest self, our real source. And having that connection, maintaining that connection, treasuring that, makes feeling safe a whole lot easier. You can come back to that safe, warm, gooey, precious feeling, right? And give that to other people. It's a beautiful thing to be able to share, really. But something that we can do in this process of growth is examine anytime we start to feel unsafe, and assess what caused that to happen, right? Where the trigger was, whatever the emotional unrest was. There's always some kind of wound there that needs just addressing, right? And it's literally just the tiniest bit of attention, care, and love can do so much. And when it comes from ourselves and it's genuine, when we know we're really actually here for ourselves now, it really unlocks a whole new level of being. And I invite you all to do that and help nurture and care for yourselves as best as we all possibly can, and just create a mind that we want. Now, without further ado, I'll turn it over to Christopher LaPrath, and thanks for watching the show.
Well, happiest of all Mother's Days. I wanted to thank you all for being here. I'm not going to do a long introduction like I normally do, because I want to give a little bit more time to the women on the show, the mothers, the nurturers, and give you a little bit extra time, a little bit more reading than just maybe one card, and broaden your horizons a little bit, because I truly do appreciate you very much. I was doing a little research for the show, and before I talk about that, bless all of you creators, because really, motherhood, that womanhood, and the ability to have children is one of the greatest creative accomplishments. So thank you that are mothers. Thank all of our mothers that have passed, that are no longer here. In Eastern culture, in Chinese culture, they truly believe that ghosts are near you. And especially on a day like today, you know that your mother is probably around and she's guiding you and directing you. And I could spend many, many shows telling you different stories. Marilyn Pitts, you're on the show. You were a hospice nurse for 30 years. You've got some of those stories. Every one of us has different stories. But I wanted to spend a little bit more time devoting to you that are on the show. And if you have any questions, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever it is, type in your question. I can hopefully will do my best to answer your question when I get to your name. We do it systematically, so whoever came on the show first is who I pull a card for. And just to explore this creativity with you. So the group card tonight is really a great one. I wanted to share this with you. It's called the Halls of Amenti. And this was really established in the city of Atlantis. It was taken supposedly to Egypt by Thoth, the leader of Atlantis. And a lot of times you've seen me use the Thoth deck. It's actually pronounced Toth. But my point is the black pillar in this card represents the physical. The white pillar represents the spiritual. And so this Halls of Amenti falls right in between. And it's to remind us that we always are in between worlds. If we get too fixated that we're just physical beings and we can get easily caught up in the physical world, this is to remind us, but wait a minute, there's this entire spiritual world to look at, and look at things as they come. And trust that you've got some guidance, and that we always live between worlds. We always live between worlds. And whether you're a man or woman, some of us, just for convenience sake or how we're taught, maybe think that angels are male. Maybe some of us think angels are female or spirit. But really, source is not gendered. And so when you call upon this source to really guide you and help you, remember that it's not really gendered. And remember, too, which would be helpful, is that if you're a woman in this lifetime, you were definitely probably a man in the previous lifetime or the one before or the one before. That we've had many, many lifetimes as many different people, many different genders. And so this is about you connecting with Source no matter who you are. And that's what this card is about. That there's a reconfiguring of what is happening. So maybe some of you have seen, if you're history buffs, you've seen these statues that were found, and some of them are 20,000 years BC. And they're statues from what historians or archaeologists believe is a matriarchal way of life rather than a patriarchal. So back then, you've seen those statues where they have the big fertility stomachs and the large breasts, and some of them are 20,000 years old, 22,000 years old, that they found these artifacts. And so 22,000 years ago, things were a little different. But think about living in that lifespan, or being here for that length of time, and then bringing this knowledge that you've accumulated over these centuries and thousands of years. That's what this card is about. It's about bringing this knowledge and reconfiguring how your life is now to something even greater. So, thank you all for being here. And just checking my notes. So when you get frustrated, it's old energies leaving. Just like if you get a stomach ache from eating pickles, you know not to eat so many pickles next time. Okay? Or whatever it is that you're eating, you don't eat on that. When things frustrate you, don't chew on that. And let it go, because that is a sign that these old energies are leaving, new energies are coming in. Okay, great. And I want to thank Tony and the Health Source and the Fleece Agency for being on the show. Thank you very, very much for sponsoring the show, and Brick Road Coffee for sponsoring the show. Thank you. And of course, all of your contributions. Okay, who's first?
Awesome. It's Austin.
Austin, first one on. Nice to have you. So, Austin, music helps you meditate. I would find maybe 528 hertz. So find a really high frequency hertz. Put the music on in the background. And just listen. The point of meditation is to allow messages in. And so I love this elephant, right? One of the most outstanding features about the elephant are its ears. And listen to spirit. People are really good at praying or asking for what it is that maybe they want, but they're not so good at receiving. So are you willing to be more open to receiving and receiving messages without questioning really kind of where they're coming from? That's the point of this card for me, but also there are certain frequencies that are important for you to listen to. So, Ken, what are some of the 528 is good, right?
Yeah.
And what's another one?
432.
432. Yeah.
111.
And 111? Yeah, 111. You can find those on YouTube. Then I would recommend everybody do that. That it will really help to calm the soul. Okay? And I was talking to a client today, and they were communicating with their child. And they realized that they came to the conclusion that they were both saying the same thing, just in a different way. And so they really weren't hearing each other. So if you're in kind of any kind of conflict, do some listening. Because those people they feel like they're not being heard. Okay, good. Who's next?
Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. All right, we'll pull a couple cards for you, Lindsay. Thank you for being here. Magical map shifter. You remember the the halls of Amenti, Lindsay, where we're in the physical and the spiritual, and we're in between. So there is no GPS app that you go, okay, Siri, what decision should I make here? Which way should I go, Siri? That's not available on the phone. But it is available to you, well, to all of us. And this has a lot to do with like Austin's card about listening, is reducing the brain chatter when the brain gets out of control. I've been there. I think we all been there, where we try to figure it out, where we're trying to find the road on the map, right? Especially in olden times before GPS, and you had the old paper folding maps, and you were trying to figure out where things were on the road and what road it was numbered, how it was labeled. This is where you're stepping into the path unfolding as you go and trusting it. So, and there's no need to wait till you're 52. Okay? But this is your growing awareness. So if you look at this woman's, what we would call a halo, but it's actually the energy field around her head, it's growing. And trust the magic. Put this on your bathroom mirror. I trust the magic. And these flashes of light, when you see this flash of light or a flash of light out of the corner of your eye, just stop for a minute and go, talk to me. Who's there? Highly recommend you can take an online art class. They just opened an art studio here in Phoenix where you can just kind of go down and join and take the kids, and they even have a babysitting place where they entertain the kids, or they can actually set the kids up for painting. This is taking some time to broaden your horizons when it comes to art, or taking the time for the art and educating yourself. In other words, when you put yourself in a setting, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And the teacher is this higher self. So it's like quieting the mind, getting your paintbrushes, getting your canvas, and just going for it, setting it up, and then trusting that all comes, okay, without judgment. So are you willing to let go of questioning yourself? Good. Okay, who's next? Hey, Laurel. Happy Mother's Day. It's coming, Laurel. There's a card. I swear it's coming. There you go. So, if you have a sacred, if you have a secret swimming hole, let's say when you were growing up, that you love to go to, you didn't really tell a lot of people about because you didn't want you didn't want a crowded place. You didn't want the word to spread. This, for you, so I always talk about energy contracting or expanding, right? this is really taking time for you. It's like Kenan came up with the title, How Good of a Mother Are You to Yourself? And this is the 11, so it's 47 card. It's the 11, it comes up to the number 11. This is you getting your own place with a hot tub. I know I just went like that, but all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, this is so I always tell people, if you're looking to redecorate your place, just find one thing that you really, really love. Maybe it's a wallpaper, maybe it's a piece of furniture, and then build around
really,
that.
really love.
When you're thinking about when you're getting your own place, it's like your sacred place, your sacred pool. And if you're trying to imagine having your own place is too big, then just go for the hot tub. Just picture a place with a great hot tub with a beautiful view. Okay, take one piece of that and build on it and feel it. And then your friends are going to be weeded out. There are surface friends, and then there are really deep, true friends. Allow the surface friends to leave. Let them go. Allow the surface relationships to go. And bring your energy a little bit more back in to you. Mother yourself a little bit more. And so, Laurel, anywhere I'll call you on this one, but there's something with you. You came to this earth, and I talk about this on my Facebook. It's like some women come to this earth and they don't have children, but they still came to create. They still came to expand and to serve, right? To be able to be here on this earth with this experience as a woman this time. This is you doing your own thing. And be free of following the leader. Become the leader. And then moving on up economically, career, just you're rising up. And when I think you texted me last week where it was a little bit wild for you, remember that's what I was talking about earlier, is when that stuff, it's the halls of Amenti, where when this chaos comes, it's coming up to throw up. It's better out than in. So you're getting rid of the old ways of thinking and doing, and this is a time for you to think about getting a bigger tree. When you look at this card and it's these animals, it's about moving to a bigger tree. It's about moving up, and really what is so fulfilling for you. In any way, shape, or form, are you willing to let go of the so-called impossibility of it? Okay. All right. Who's next?
Yeah, it's John and Sylvia.
Oh, John. Okay. Hey, John. John sent me the most incredible pictures of. He went to Grand Teton National Park, Teton National Park, and they're just amazing pictures. I'm going to show this. Can you show the camera? There, John took those today of these bears. So that's what John did today up in Wyoming, Teton National Park. Amazing, amazing. Force of nature. Okay, so we're doing John, and then we're going to pull a card for Sonia. Thanks for being here, Sonia. Appreciate you very, very much. So, find a talisman. Talisman, what is a talisman? So I saw this ring. It's citrine. I wanted something with citrine. I looked for it for a long time, and I actually found it on Etsy. Okay, so it's a citrine ring. Well, when I go into stores, people always go, "Ooh." They actually think it's a diamond or something, which is okay with me. I'm fine, but it was $45 on Etsy. But for me, when I look at that, citrine is about expansion. It's about good luck. It's about opportunities coming to you. So that is like an example of a talisman. So I encourage every one of you on the show to carry with you something that is meaningful and to remind you of what it is that you're doing, why it is that you're doing it, what's important about being here. That is the point of the talisman. It actually will draw these thoughts and energies and then the circumstances to you to actually create that. And it also works as, that's why I wear the other rings and the bracelets, is they're very protective. Okay, they're very, very protective. And that's the other job of the talisman. So look for something that really embodies you. It could be a ring, it could be a bracelet, could be anything. And then imbue that with blessings. Okay, Sonia. Home is not a place. Home is where your dreams are, where this is getting a new home, basically what it is. And it's a hidden home. So be very careful who you invite into your home. Into your new home. So we don't really have a lot of people over because they can bring in things that are not of the highest level. So I'm always really careful about who I invite over. But this is your new home. You know what? I'll take a trip up. I'll bless it. But this is really, really exciting. And I just really love this card. So it's within about 9 months is this new home coming into fruition for you. And get on it. Devote. Yeah, it's okay to tie up loose ends, but focus on what this new home looks like, how you want it to feel, blessing it, okay? Project forward, not backward, okay? And are you willing to easily and comfortably, Sonia, release any so you take a steak and you put it in the freezer and then you can forget about it. Okay? It can be in the freezer for months and years. And when something sad or traumatic happens, we can put it in the freezer. This is allowing bringing it out and unthawing it, and letting go. It's about letting go of it. That it's okay. You don't have to eat that steak because it could be 10 years old if it was in the back of the freezer. You can let go of it, and your heart is unfreezing. I'm just sending you lots of blessings about unfreezing any and all of your heart, anywhere where you've exposed it to cold temperatures. Bring it back in, warm it up. This is where you're moving into a new place, and it's the 26 card, which is 2 + 6 is 8, which is the abundance card. This is all about abundance. It's not just financial, it's emotional, mental, spiritual. Let go. Let go. Unfreeze. Okay, who's next?
Marilyn Pitts.
Hey, Marilyn. I do hope your kitty has kittens real soon. In any way, shape, or form, Marilyn, are you willing to let go of performing for other people? Any way, shape, or form. It's okay to serve others, absolutely. But this is where people are making demands of you. I said this on the show before. One of the most difficult words in the English language is N-O. No. Say no. That mother yourself, like Kennan's theme for tonight, mother yourself. And are you willing to let go of putting yourself in positions where in any way, shape, or form you're trying to perform or help others that actually are sucking your energy? Okay? What's that?
She said the kids didn't get in touch with her for Mother's Day. She didn't let the kids do it.
Yeah. So thank you, Marilyn. We love you. So we're sending you lots of love here. But that's where, if you've read the book Celestine Prophecy, could you type that in there?
Yeah.
I really recommend all of you read this book. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. And what it is, Marilyn, it's about a book. It's a book on control dramas. So there's the interrogator, intimidator, poor me. Those are three major control dramas. What I mean by control drama is if people are screaming and yelling at you, it can throw you off. And those people that are screaming and yelling are creating a control drama to suck your energy. Or the interrogator. Where were you? How come you were there? Blah, 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 blah. Then there's the poor me. Oh, this happened horrible and this happened terrible and it was awful. those are control dramas. The other one, the last one, there's 4. The last one is called aloof. And aloof is like when people don't get in touch with you, or they are withholding, or they appear in a higher position and put you down. So in any way, shape, or form, are you willing to let go of that and know that absolutely you are loved? It's about them, not about you, and let it go. Absolutely let it go. This is where you call in, you move over to that white pillar. You know, there's that black pillar and then there's the white pillar, and you're in between the physical and the spiritual world. You move toward the spiritual world and go, okay, Source, help me with this. And that's where you bring it in, because you absolutely are an amazing person, right? You've done a lot of good. So trust that. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? I'm sure I'm sure Austin and Lindsay, you can adopt them. They're amazing people. Okay, who's next?
Next is Duckley Lana.
Hey, Lanny. Bone collector. Bone collector. I love this. The shaman. So this is like a shamaness, right? This is the bone collector where, you know, in some of the old, some of the shamans will take bones and they'll shake them and then they read the bones, right? Like it, old way of reading tarot cards, right? But it was like prophesying. It was like people would go to them for advice. And you have your wisdom balanced with your connection with Source. It's really important to write your stories. Lana sent me she sent me the funniest, I was dying laughing. I'm still laughing about this story about these peacocks that she raised. That, and she's a brilliant writer, but she didn't know it, right? Now she knows it. Like it was one of those stories where it just stuck in your head. So this is discovering new bones, and new stories for you. And let go Okay, so they're showing me a dog with a bone. You don't go try to take the bone away from the dog. It wants to gnaw away at this bone. There are some people in your life that are gnawing on, 40 years ago, Lana, you did this. You did this, Lana, and they're still gnawing on it. Let them be. Let them enjoy their bone. you just be willing to completely let go in fixing it, and the thing is you can apologize until a month of Sundays goes by, and they're still going to want to gnaw on that bone. It's their bone. Oh, girl, you got to go fishing. This is the magic stream. So everybody on the show, Lana is my cousin who lives up in northern Idaho, and so she's in my book, and I talk about her. So she lives up near where the story actually took place. In fact, her mom, my Aunt Nona, Lana's mother, sold us the house that we moved to in Trestle Creek. And so we have a lot of history there. But the one thing about it is Idaho is these amazing streams and rivers and lakes. So this is, you know what, Lana, hang the sign out, just gone fishing. Just gone fishing. And let go. This is about letting go. Yeah. Harley definitely wants you to go fishing. He's just, you're, it's hard for him to admit, but he's saying like, you were a better fisherman than him. Oh, yep, I said it. Okay. All right, who's next?
Wait, it's Cat and Geo.
Hey, Kat. Oh my gosh. I had the greatest reading with Kat this weekend. It was just wonderful. So I hope your friend's doing great. Text me and let me know, Kat, how she's doing. So you made it home, hopefully with Mother's Day, and I hope you're having a great time with the kids. Or you can still be flying. Make the little adjustments. And are you willing to be free of expecting great results when you make the first little adjustment? It's just like a plane, right? It can change it 1/2 a degree. You don't feel anything in the plane, but it puts it to a completely different destination. These are your thoughts, Kat, that in creating this new business, this new model, just make one decision, right? Scott's on the show, who's a writer. It's like you do one line at a time, right? You do one page at a time and it changes the entire story. So this is for you in making these adjustments, but you're going to be flying and it's going to get greater and greater and greater. Okay? And this is like, what a precious picture. I love this giraffe mama and her baby. Look at how well you've done with your kids, Kat. What a great mom you are. You know, the sacrifices you've made, they're going to pay off really, really well. And I love this. And look up the spirit animal giraffe. It's definitely one of your guides, your spirit animals. Your oldest son is needing a little bit more encouragement right now. So this is him in the picture. Yeah, just spend some time with him. Take him out. Do that type of thing. And then, Kat, I've got this come together. Making an adjustment with Jared. This is about coming together with a new plan. And then when you feel like you're getting upset about anything, just talk it out. And then just listen. Like Austin's first card tonight was listening. Just listen to each other. And a lot of times you're saying the same thing. You're just saying it in a different way. Okay, who's next?
Very good. You got cat and Geo both.
Oh, Jared. Okay, Jared. Yeah. So, Jared, that card was for you about listening. And listening with understanding. So, Jared, this is called the Sad Embrace card. The brain doesn't do time. It just doesn't. And so, things that happened in the past, when you recall them, the emotions and everything from that can come right up to the future, right up to now. And this is, are you willing to let go of embracing any of those feelings, memories, happenings, and tell your brain that was then, but this is now. So as a child, you were viewing things as a child, but you are an adult now. And you absolutely have the power to let go of embracing any of those things that you believe made you the way you are. That was then, this is now. Okay? And celebrate who you are. Embrace who you are. Forget these sad embraces. You're done with those. Okay, who's next?
Awesome. It's Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Nice to hear both of you.
Thank you for being here. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, again. Okay, Lori. Lori, you gotta move. You gotta go dance. It's important. I don't care if you even just put music on, play it loud, dance. This will help to physiologically move any toxicity in your system. Toxicity from previous negative thinking. So just tape your mouth and dance. Move. Because like when you're dancing or when you're running, you're exercising, you're not talking. What I mean by this is sometimes our self-talk, or even when we're talking to others about something or about ourselves, it can be devastating. And if you move, it will help put you in a different place of only speaking, thinking about the great things about yourself, the great things about your situation, the great things about life. This is coming to life. Coming to life. It's not going to death. It's not gloom, despair, an agony on me, deep dark depression, excessive misery. It's like leaving that behind, and you got to move it. It will help to physiologically release in the myofascia, the connective tissue, some of these emotions that have built up for years. Move it. Yoga class, dance class, Pilates. Sign up, go do it. Okay.
Scott's next.
Okay. I'm gonna put one more for Lori. This is where Lori, are you willing to let go of this is something you learned when you were younger. Are you willing to let go of hiding who you actually are? And you can actually even hide behind verbosity or exuberance. So when I was growing up, they used to call me, as I mentioned before, they used to call me the Crisco Kid. Where did Chris go? I was like super hyper and happy and go lucky and just talking all the time. And it was a defense mechanism because I was afraid to go in. I was afraid to go inside and look at some of this stuff. You know, it's like how some people's garages get just packed up with stuff and they're just like, oh God, I have to go do it. That's going to be a lot of work. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be a lot of work, but it's unpacking what no longer serves you and taking some time for yourself. Taking some time for yourself. Okay. And Scott's next?
Yep.
Okay. Well, sir, if you have your camera, if you have your picture. This is called Into the Unknown. So I'll go revert back to the beginning of the show, and it was the group card, which was the halls of Amenti, right? It's the halls of initiation. It's the halls of higher knowledge. And when you move into the unknown, this woman is blindfolded, and she's kind of feeling her way through. It's okay to go slow. When you're moving into the spiritual realm and you're used to going fast, 80 miles an hour down the highway, spirituality doesn't work like that. One step that you devote to your own spirituality has a vast and different impact than in the physical world. And so this is about you stepping into the unknown, and this is all about reconfiguring. It's not seen necessarily with your eyes, but with your understanding as to what is really going on. And Werner Heisenberg, the founder of quantum physics, said, the universe is stranger than we can think. So you cannot think about it. There's nowhere to put it. It's just a matter of trusting and going with the flow. Knowing that you're moving forward. You can't, like when you're going down the road and you're driving the car, you're not thinking about, I wonder how the engine runs, or, how really do my brakes work? Or how many bugs on the windshield have I killed? You don't go into any of those details. You just keep moving forward, and this is going to help you transcend the obstacles of the physical realm or the limitations of the physical realm. And going beyond the fears of any constructs that we've constructed for ourselves, and you're going to be safe, you're going to be fine. But when you start really this spiritual work on a scale like this, it can get a little shaky, right? But you're doing great. And when you get a little overwhelmed or frustrated, remember that's dropping away. Okay, who's next?
Great job. We had Abby and Marilyn and Stephanie on.
Abby and Marilyn and Stephanie. Yeah, they're going to be here this week. Awesome. Okay. So Stephanie, This is the Wizard of Awareness. And this is a little bit like what I was talking about, Scott, about Into the Unknown, is you can't really be aware of what you're not aware of. This is moving into things that you will become aware of. And to be really a wizard at it. And to just say yes. And you'll figure out how things unfold. Just say yes. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to try this. Like the trip that you're taking, right? Everyone, Abby and Marilyn and Stephanie are driving out from Carolina all the way out here. They've got this wonderful motorhome, and they're taking a trip, and it's a trip, and it's going to be, there's the three of you, right? So the three of you, which is perfect. The three is is the strongest number there is, and you can do a little research on it. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's this stability, right? You think about the triangle, the pyramids, extremely stable, and you're like the three musketeers on this incredible journey where your awareness, your ahas, allow that in, allow it in, allow it in. That's where your true learning comes from. Okay, my dear Abby. You're getting stronger and stronger, and you're going to be more aware of really how strong you are. And are you willing to let go of the need to carry the world on your back? Okay. And just, again, this has to do a lot with, so these three cards really apply, or these cards I'm pulling right now really kind of apply to all of you, mainly for you, Abby. This is the 4+4 card, which adds up to the 8 card, which is that awareness. It's abundance. It's how much of abundant strength you have. But are you willing to use that strength wisely? Because in any way, shape, or form where you have felt you needed to fix the world, are you willing to let go of that now? Even though you can. But fix your world. Okay? Everyone work on your world. Okay, my dear Marilyn. Well, I hope you left somebody behind to clean house. This is big. This week, these next few days, the next 2-3 weeks, in fact, about a month and a half, is all about cleaning house. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. It is going to feel so amazing. Might feel a bit like a little trip. I mean, hard work, like driving out here all this way, 2,000-3,000 miles. Yeah, but the benefits from it, and the feeling of a clean house, it's like a new beginning for you. And it's going to be for all three of you. So these cards, the Wizard of Awareness, the Strength card, and this cleaning house is for all three of you. In one way, shape, or form, cleaning out what no longer serves you to your best and highest. Okay? That's what this is about. And then you've got the commitment card. Committing to your health, wealth, abundance. Commit, commit, commit. Whew. All right.
Awesome. Melinda LaPrath is on.
Mindy. Hey, Mindy's my niece up in Idaho. Hey, Mindy, great to have you. Happy Mother's Day, my dearest. Wishes do come true, but put a little energy behind them, Melinda. This is this is finding money in unusual places for you. Money coming in from unusual sources or finding money in unusual places. And then what is it you really, really want to do? And don't just wish it, just make it so. Connect with your source. Know that it's going to come your way. Absolutely. In any way, shape, or form, it's coming your way. Okay? And I love having you here. Thank you for being here. Everybody welcome Mindy. Well, it's actually Melinda. So I'm going to pull another card from another deck. There we go. Oh, possibility for union. Put a bowl of salt under your bed, like a cereal bowl size of salt. And you want to so there's a story about this woman who went to, she's American, she went to Cambodia, and her mother had died like 25 years before. And so the woman was, and in Cambodia, the consciousness there is that there are ghosts around you all the time. So it's much easier to actually experience the spirit world in a place like that, right? Because there are people around that believe that. So it kind of builds the consciousness around that. So she's like, and her mother died when she was 8 years old. So this woman is like in her early 30s, and she's like, oh, Mom, please tell me whether I should have children. And she said her mother actually appeared and said, even if I was alive, I couldn't answer that for you. That's got to come from you. So my point of this is there's this relationship coming in. Be free of having it, be free of what other people think about it, be free of having any expectation around it, and just allow it. Okay, just allow it. But it's also your ability to connect to the other side. And now, that doesn't mean you have a party line. Now, if some of you younger ones don't know what a party line is, it's where everybody had those wall hanging phones, and to cut down on costs, sometimes you had to have you had shared a line with your neighbors, and sometimes there were 3 or 4 of them, and there was a party line. So that's why I told you to put a bowl of salt under your bed, because of your connection. You want to be careful who you're connecting to, and this is about talking with your mom. This is about talking with your mom, and she'll talk. But you'll have a thought in your head, or I don't know how she's going to talk to you. That's her surprise, but yeah, that's really profound. Okay, and then we have.
Last is Teresa. Yeah, Teresa Mullen.
Awesome, Teresa. Okay, my dearest, this is Ghostlands. You know how some people, Teresa, carry backpacks with all their belongings, or you see some street people and they'll have a shopping cart and they have like all their belongings in the shopping cart. And it's like people carrying their identity with them, but it's not really their identity. You can absolutely be free of having to deal with those people. Because it doesn't offer you anything. It doesn't. They're wanting to take. They're wanting to take more than give you. So they really have nothing to offer that you really want. And so you can be kind, but you don't. You're free of. If you want to, you can be willing to be free of going through the motions of feeling like you need to take what they're giving because it's not of the highest vibration. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the ghost lands. And then, and again, put salt under your bed, put salt under the baby's bed, Mason's bed. And then just, you know what? Create a dragon's lair. Like hang out, create a really cool fort for yourself. Like what is fun for you? Do what is fun for you. You know, think about when you were a little girl, like did you build like chair tents and Barbie houses and just hang out there? Do a dragon's lair. And this is like Mason's imagination is just fun. So this is the dragon's lair. Create something really special and fun for you. And you don't need to allow the Ghostland people in. Okay. And then Lanny, Melinda is Carl's daughter. So I want to let you know Lana is there. I'm sure you know that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and Scott had a YouTube?
Yeah, I didn't click it.
Okay. Okay. So, do we have everybody?
That's everybody.
That's everybody. Happy, 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 happy Mother's Day. Did anybody have any questions?
Not that I saw.
Okay. If we missed your question, you can retype it, but let's do this again tomorrow night. It's coming up quick. Love you all very much. And we'll talk to you soon.